This is Mirror Glaze 101, and today I want to show you 3 essential Mirror Glaze recipes: chocolate, coloured and spider. I'm going to talk you through using gelatin and the importance of temperature when you're glazing. Now, the first part of a mirror glaze is the gelatin. This is very important because it's going to set the mirror glaze, and gelatin comes in either sheet or powdered gelatin. Now, we're going to ignore sheet gelatin for this. We're just going to use powdered, and then it has different strengths, okay? Don't worry too much about the strengths because we can actually convert that later on. And with that powdered gelatin, we need to make what's called a gelatin mass. Now, I'm using 250 bloom gelatin, which you can convert. So just check the recipe, it'll tell you how to convert it. We're going to pour that over our water. Simply whisk it through and then set this in the fridge for 20 minutes. It will set into a nice firm jelly, which we can get into our pan. And then just melt it over a very low heat. Pour it into any container and then we set that in the fridge for 30 minutes. And once it has set, this is your gelatin mass. So this can now be cut into little cubes and weighed for the mirror glaze recipes. Now for this chocolate mirror glaze, we're going to start with something called tremeline. Now this is going to help with the shine of our glaze. If you don't have it, you can leave it out. And on top of that, we add the gelatin mass that we just made. Then into a pan, we go glucose and cream. All we want to do is heat that until it's steaming. Once that cream is hot, we're going to heat up sugar and water to 120 degrees Celsius. As soon as it hits that temperature, we deglaze it with that hot cream, and then we whisk through cocoa powder and bring it to a boil. And then that chocolate mixture gets poured over that tremeline and gelatin. After about a minute of blending, you should end up with a smooth, bubble-free glaze like this. In order for the gelatin to fully hydrate, we need to chill this now, ideally overnight, about 12 hours in the fridge. The next day, you can see we've got this very thick chocolate glaze, which we need to melt down. Now, you can either do this in the microwave, or you can pour it into a bain-marie and just melt it in a pan. So what we want to do is essentially get this to half liquid, half solid, and then blend it again and cool it down. And after just about a minute in the microwave, you can see mine's kind of liquid, slightly solid as well. We're just going to blend this again, avoiding adding too many air bubbles. We're going to get this nice and smooth, and then checking that temperature. Once I've finished blending, it's probably about 43 degrees. Now, I like to glaze my desserts about 35 degrees Celsius. So I just stir it occasionally until it's cooled down and we pour it straight over our frozen dessert. We let it drip and then wipe off the excess with a palette knife, and you're left with this amazing, vibrant mirror glaze. For the coloured mirror glaze, it's a very classic condensed milk based glaze. So we've got gelatin mass, condensed milk, and white chocolate. Then into a small saucepan, we go sugar, water, and glucose. That goes onto the heat. We're going to cook it to 103 degrees Celsius. And as soon as that's the temperature, we pour it over our white chocolate mixture. At this point, you can add any colour you want to this mirror glaze. And finally, we just blend it until it's nice and smooth. Try and avoid adding too many air bubbles here. You will end up with a nice, smooth, colourful glaze. We cover the surface with cling film and then we chill it overnight. For the colour glaze, it's the exact same process as the chocolate glaze. So we're going to melt this till it's half liquid, half solid in the microwave or over a bain-marie, blend it till it's smooth and then cool it down to about 30 degrees Celsius. Now I like to let mine cool to about 28 to 30 degrees Celsius. I pour that over the top of my frozen dessert. I use a palette knife to wipe off the excess and it will set very quickly and you're left with just a really bright, reflective coloured mirror glaze. Finally, for our spiderweb mirror glaze, we've got a bowl here which has pectin and sugar, and then into a saucepan we're going to add water, glucose and sugar. We're going to gently heat this, then slowly whisk in that pectin mixture until it reaches a boil. Once at a boil, we add in a little bit of citric acid and then we continue to cook. We take this off the heat, we're going to pour it into a container, and essentially what you've made is what we call a mirror neutral, and we can colour this any way we want. And so for mine, I've just blended in a little bit of white colouring. And now we really need to get the timings right for this spiderweb mirror glaze, because as soon as we use a chocolate or a coloured mirror glaze that goes on top of a cake, we immediately spread the spiderweb mirror glaze over the top. Now, the bigger you want the web, the hotter you're going to have your mixture. So between about 55 and 70 degrees Celsius is perfect. So if you go close to 70, you're going to get a wider spread. Close to 50, you'll get a slightly tighter web. We're going to work quickly here, so we're going to pour on the chocolate glaze, or it could be the coloured glaze, and then immediately pour that spiderweb mirror glaze onto the back of a palette knife. We'll spread that across, just like we're doing when we're wiping off the excess, and then as it sets, it will just slowly spread out to create the spiderweb effect. And there you have your beautiful, shiny mirror glazes. Now, one thing that's very important when you're glazing is temperature. If your glaze is too hot, it will just run off and drip off your entire cake, okay, and it won't set. But if it's too cold, it will be very thick, very gelatinous. You'll have a horrible layer on top of your cake, which will not be enjoyable to eat. So it will take some experimenting. You might find slightly cooler works for you, slightly warmer. So a little bit of trial and error. You can get the full recipes on my website. Just click the link in my bio. There are a few fancy ingredients, all right? But as long as you've got the ingredients, they're actually quite easy to pull together, and you can adjust the colors and the effects that you want to go for. Any questions, as always, let me know.